Welcome to the show. This is The Gut Doctor. My name is Dr. Nick Thompson, and we talk about all things herbs and guts and lots of other things, actually. But it's great to be with you. Tonight, we're going to be talking about herbs and drugs. Are herbs just fancy botanical drugs? What advantages do they have of drugs? And we're going to be going on a philosophical wander, but we're also going to be looking at some herbs. It's always nice. I've got some really nice pictures, actually, and we're going to be going through those things as well. But just while everybody gathers themselves and comes together, just a few thoughts. It is February. Our next show, by the way, is on the 20th of March, and we are going to see if we can get together a panel on raw, and we're going to get people talking about raw food, okay? Because raw food involves quite a lot of herbs, but it's very, very much in the vein of promoting really great gut health. If your dog, cat, chicken, horse has got good gut health, then they are going to have better general health, better immunity, better microbiome, and that's going to help. I'm actually just in the process of writing a book on ultra processed food for dogs, and I've written the whole thing. We're just going through the second draft, which is chipping away and making ideas into more explainable. It's a very, very interesting process. Yeah. So I learn that the way you do it is you get everything down that you want to say, and then you go back and then you start chipping away at the language, at the way, the ideas, the order of ideas and what have you, in order to present a story, a narrative arc, as they say in the business, so that people can follow you and stay with the ideas that you're trying to put forward. So there we go. A few people coming along. That's absolutely brilliant. Elaine is with us. It's great to see you, Elaine, and Heather, who I think has labs, is there. I'll tell you what, let's share some greetings. There you go. There's Elaine, who's a Spaniel woman by the look of it. Great. It's great to see you there, Elaine, and Heather. She is. Maybe she runs a series of laboratories. I don't know. It looks like she's got labs, and it looks like she's got a wood-burning stove as well, with all those logs there in the background. And Heather Labs, I'll send my samples to you, Heather. Heather says, please tell me it's called ultra processed pooches. Well, we haven't decided on what it's going to be called yet, but it's about ultra processed food. Since January, and the American government changed their they had the pyramid. Yeah. Eat lots of these things and eat very few of these things. And for 50 years, they've been saying to eat loads of grains, and the implication is that ultra processed food is okay, but take it easy. Well, and be careful of eating real meat. Well, they've turned that round. Now, the main foods that they're suggesting that we should eat are whole foods, meats and vegetables. If you're a veggie, lots of really fabulous whole vegetables. If you're not, then eating all of these natural things. We're going back to feeding much more as our grandmothers would have recognized it. So this is all very exciting. Heather has said, Heather from Perfecta. Okay, that's great, fantastic. It's great that you're here. Elaine says, that's interesting. Elaine says she's getting in with questions very early in the show. Can you use flea and tick powder with crunchies? And yes, that should be an absolutely fine thing to do. The flea and tick is to deter fleas and ticks, and the crunchies are to do with gut hygiene, to help with any infestation within the gut itself. So that's great. So all very good. Wendy is here as well. Good evening, Wendy. It's lovely to see you. And that's what we're going to do today. So Mikko is from Finland, is here as well. Hello, Mikko. It's great to see you there. He's a big advocate for raw food and natural nutrition up in Finland, and hope to see him possibly in September when I go up there. September's really busy, actually. We've got the conference, the annual Dog Risk Conference in Helsinki, first weekend, and then the second weekend we're in South Africa, going there with Raw Pet Medics to talk all things raw food. So things are very much are very exciting and very dynamic at the moment. Annalisa Goshawk is here as well. Annalisa, she has Westies, and she's a very dedicated dog mum, and it's great to see that she's with us. Right, guys, I could talk to you. Maybe we should have, actually, I'm just thinking, maybe one night we should just have chats with you. That would be quite good, actually. Laura, Rosie. Laura is officiating tonight, so thank you, Laura. And thank you to Vermex for making the whole thing possible. It's been great producing the presentation this evening. So Penny is here from South Africa. Penny, it's lovely to see you. Let's get Elaine off there. This is here you go. Just to prove that we do. This is an international show. This is Penny from South Africa, and she's tuning in. It's probably 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in South Africa. Beauty of South Africa is that you don't really get jet lag. Okay, it's 10 hours on a flight, 12 hours on a flight, but you don't get jet lag because they're on the same timeline as us. So that's really good. So that's great. And here's Laura. Oh, everybody's very lively this evening. Don't know why that is. This is Laura. There she is in her sunglasses, looking very tropical with her dog. I haven't met your dog, Laura. I must do so. And it'd be good. So there you go. Laura has said we are going to do a chat. So very soon, maybe April, if we can't get enough, if we can't get lots of interesting people for our round table on the 20th of March, maybe we will do a Q&A, and basically you do the questions and I will try and give you some answers. Okay, that's what we're going to do. However, you're not here to listen to me rambling. You're here to talk about herbs. So let's do the thing like this, and I'll just put I will put Laura on there so that she can say that everything's working. So I'm going to stay here in this little corner as usual, guys. This is what we're doing. Let's go there. So I think you can hear me, and I hope you can see the screen. And as I say, put lots of nice images together for you today, because personally, I think I like images. I like being able to see what I'm doing. So that's good. Laura says we're all good with audio and video. So let's crack on. So my brief from Laura was to do Herbs 101, meaning the basics, meaning do what you like this evening. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to talk about how herbs differ from drugs. Okay, and so we're going to go into that. So I'm going to use herbs and herb combinations that that we use for wormers, and we're going to compare those with anthelmintics, drug anthelmintics. Okay, so you know about, and you know you can go to the vet and you can get a licensed product from the vet which will clear out worms from the gut. You can go down to the saddle shop and get a wormer for the horse, and that will just clear them out. I wanted to just contrast the difference between the two. So you're seeing there a picture of lovely little girl and mum doing her homework, and bear with me, this is relevant. And the analogy that I've been looking at for several years, but I went up to Hilton Herbs a couple of weeks ago to talk with the guys there. Great bunch. And I used this analogy. So what I'm going to say is that drugs is a bit like, if you use a drug, and wormers, wormers for horses, dogs, cats, they work. They do what they say on the tin. Okay, but I'm going to take you just a tiny little bit further than that. Okay, and I'm going to bring in herbs as part of that. Okay, this is what we're doing this evening. And what my thesis is that if you take a drug for a dog or a horse or a cat who has worms, especially when they're young, you will eliminate. All the drug does is it goes in, knocks out the worms, and they will be eliminated. Great, thank you very much. However, there is and as I say, fast and effective. But what happens is those drugs have no direct effect on the gut, on the function, on the health, the integrity of the gut, and they will have a negative impact on the microbiome, which will have a negative impact on the immune system generally, but will have a negative impact on gut function and gut immune function. And so, just like if your mum does your homework, taking us back to childhood days, if your mum does your homework, you get A's every time, but you learn nothing. You with me? Whereas if your mum doesn't just do your homework, which is the quickest way to do it, I know because I've got children. If your mum doesn't do your homework, but helps you learn the subject so that you can do the homework for yourself, then you have learned something and you can then use that knowledge and apply that knowledge how you need in the future. And I think this is a perfect analogy for a drug approach to worms, for example, as this is the example we're using. Drugs and worms versus herbal combinations and worms. Okay, so the drug goes in, removes the worms, very effective, but it doesn't nurture, it doesn't teach the gut in any way. Whereas herbs, as we'll see, are better able to have that effect. So drugs are great, but one of their limitations is this immediacy of action and lack of positive impact on microbiome and lack of positive impact on the tissue of the gut itself. Okay, interesting stuff. Okay, so if we contrast that with the herbal approach to health, we're talking about gut, then herbs will go in and not only make the environment unpleasant for worms, they can also enhance the microbiome, hence the study that Vermex are doing at the moment. And they will also enhance health of the gut, okay, because that's what they've been doing in animals for millions and millions of years, and over history, over evolution, animals have used the chemicals that they produce in order to maintain that gut health. So the drugs are like your mum doing your homework for you, and herbs are like mum teaching you the subject so that you can do your homework yourself. Nice analogy. I think you'll agree. Okay. And in doing that, the gut stays engaged, and the gut learns that immune function, that immune knowledge is enhanced, which builds resilience over time. Do you like my graphics? How about that? I am learning. So that's all a little bit theoretical and what have you. So let's just talk about how that looks in the real world. Okay. So this is a conversation I had with a client a few years ago now, but she said, oh yeah, my 24-year-old mare, she's been using a herb combination for many years, and and she's been poo picking and doing all the management stuff, and she's been fecal egg testing, which I think is a good idea, not only in horses but also in dogs and cats, by the way. But she's been doing fecal egg testing to see what the level of worms. And for years and years and years, herbs in, no worms, herbs in, no worms, herbs in, no worms. And then all of a sudden, the worm burden shoots up on this mare. And so I rang her because she was a bit mystified. Same mare, same herbal combination, same environment, everything was the same. And so I said to her, this doesn't make sense. We've got this sudden flare, and you've got all these questions, and I don't understand why. So I said, tell me what's happened prior to the worms going up. And she said, nope, everything's exactly the same. And literally, I remember the conversation to this day. She said, oh, actually, a few weeks ago, a dog got in the paddock and chased her around the paddock, frightened the life out of her. Okay, didn't harm her, but just frightened the life out of her, as you can imagine. And I said, that's the reason we have got this increase in the worm burden, because the herbs have been nurturing the gut by using actual physiological processes. Yeah, they've been helping the motility of the gut. They've been helping the microbiome. They've been enhancing the immunity. But during a stress situation, the general body is shuts down, and the immune system shuts down, and therefore, because the herbs working through the body against the herbs, because that's been disrupted, it means that the worm burden can rise. Okay? Drugs work directly on the worms. Herbs will work indirectly by enhancing that gut environment. And that, I think, that example really opens the window on one of the beauties of using herbs. Yeah, so one of the many advantages of using herbs. Okay, so the conclusion, therefore, is that Herbs are there, they're in the body, they are nurturing the body, but they do rely on the body being in good, in reasonable function. And if that is impacted for other reasons, then that can affect the apparent efficacy of any herbal combination. And that can be illness or pain or stress. And so therefore, sometimes people will come to me and say, oh, my horses classically, okay, because I think maybe horse owners are more switched on to pain in horses. Maybe dogs and cats, they hide it more. Horses, if your horse is lame, it's pretty obvious. If you can't put a saddle on, it's pretty obvious. We tend not to have that degree of interaction with our dogs. So all we have to do is we just need to address whatever that pathology is, that pain process, and that by using the same herbs, we will get that enhanced impact once again. Okay, really important, and that's a very interesting twist on this whole idea of pharmacology versus herbs, and something for us to think about. It's like having a good teacher. Yeah, I thought that was a picture of a nice, friendly teacher, because they leave you. But if the pupil, if going further here, the pupil there on the right, if the pupil is having an off day, then the teacher can be as good as you like, but the information is not going to go into the pupil, and the pupil's not going to be able to perform. That is a perfect microcosm of how I picture herbs working. So that's really, really good stuff. I told you I'd have some nice photos. Okay. Do you like that? I've got a spinning herb there to tell us about herbs that teach. So what are these herbs? What are these miraculous things that will actually change the physiology of our pets and our horses? Let's have a look. You're not going to be surprised, but I hope that just through the last few minutes, you're going to be seeing them with possibly a new respect. So let's have a look at garlic. Okay, garlic is really, really common. The Italians talk about garlic is like having 10 mothers because it looks after you in so many ways. Okay. In terms of gut and the worm story, garlic is there, it's prebiotic. That means it feeds the good bugs. It has an antibacterial, so it knocks out the bad bugs, because the allicin and the essential oils within it do have an antibacterial effect, which is how it can have a kind of anthelmintic effect, a direct anthelmintic effect, because of the essential oils, the polyphenols, and what have you, that will directly affect. But also it has this indirect effect of making the gut happier and better able to defend itself. Okay, it's been used for digestive health in many cultures for years and years and years. Thyme is really fabulous herb. I always think of it as one of the herbs of the lung, but it's because of those volatile oils that we find with thyme. It also has good activity in the gut. Okay, so because of its prebiotic effect and selective antibacterial effect, we're going to have enhanced microbial efficacy, which will promote better digestion. Yeah, it's one of those. It's in the same family as mint, which we'll talk about in a minute, and fennel, which we'll talk about in a minute. All these we call them digestives in herbal medicine, which will promote health promote the motility of the gut, the very subtle mucus lining within the gut. It will help to encourage the health of the enterocytes that is the one cell layer between you and food and all those bacteria in your gut. Magnificent things. And again, it's been used for years and years and years. Peppermint seems really kind of mundane, but actually it's another one of these digestive herbs. You'll notice all these herbs are very pungent, okay? And it's those important essential oils which are working here, and really important work that they do. Fennel and cinnamon. Fennel is a bit like, aniseed balls. That would be a similar effect there. And cinnamon is they use it. The traditional Chinese use of cinnamon is as a carrier, an envoy. They describe it as an envoy herb. It's very good at getting herbs to where they need to be. For example, in the at the level of the gut, so that the fennels, the peppermints, the garlics of this world can really drive their action at the level of the gut. So this is where the synergy, this beautiful synergy between the elements within a herbal combination, come together. And this is why it is possible to get resistance to a wormer, which is a single drug. Sometimes they combine them, but for the sake of argument, it's a single drug. Therefore, worms can develop resistance to that single drug. Yeah, they just bypass whatever the mechanism is. Whereas if you've got 100, 200 lightly anthelmintic activity of all these herbs that you put together, the worm will never, it is impossible for it to get around this entire battery of gentle anthelmintic effects that you would have within a combination of herbs in a worming blend. So clever stuff. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Final ones that we're going to look at is, he says, just looking at what to make sure it's the final slide. Slippery elm and nettle. You'll know slippery elm. I would suggest everybody who's got dogs needs to have slippery elm and marshmallow in, because it's very good for calming the gut. Every now and again, dogs will get a bit of a jippy tummy, and slippery elm is really useful. But again, it's there. It's mildly anti-inflammatory. It promotes a really nice mucus layer, and it is nutritive. It does have a bit of a kind of a foodie effect if you give it in any quantity. The important thing with slippery elm is it's got to be ecologically sourced, because it is in short supply, and therefore it needs to be from a farmed environment, not just culled in the wild, because the numbers of the slippery elm trees are going down. Nettle, on the other hand, beautiful picture of nettle. Nettle, on the other hand, is abundant and it's used, but it's fantastically useful, and it is a potent anti-inflammatory. It's good for your lymphatics, and it's a very healing herb within the gut when we use it, which is why we use it in so many formulae. So it's also nutrient. If you've never gone out and got nettles from the hedgerow, make sure dog hasn't just peed on them. You get nettles, you take them home, try not to get stung. It's not the end of the world, but it's not very pleasant. And you with gloves, you would just strip off the leaves, and you would cook it very lightly, like something like spinach, okay? And you can have it yourself, or you can give it to the dog. The juice that you make it with steaming is also very nutritive. You can drink it; it's delicious. Bit of a an acquired taste, but really fantastic, high in potassium and what have you, and very, very, very good for dogs. I don't think you'll get cats to eat it. And if you get dried nettle, you can use dried nettle for horses as well. So don't forget about those. Also, dandelion, wonderful, but that's for another show. So these herbs, when they are taken in combination, have this the educational effect. They can have these effects that are make the establishment of worms in the gut much more difficult, because they are there nurturing the gut, and they're not just doing the homework for the gut and getting rid of those worms directly. They are also having these indirect effects, which is very, very potent and will guarantee no resistance. So there you go. Those are some thoughts for today. There's some references there, same as last month, in case you didn't get them. I really would, if you're interested in herbs at all, check out the Wynne and Fougere book, Veterinary Herbal Medicine. It's absolutely great. It's been out for a while, so you'll get it for tuppence halfpenny from online retailers. There's also Tifford and McDowell there as well. Do check those out. But if you want one book, then the Wynne and Fougere. It's a big, thick textbook like this, and it's definitely worth looking into. Okay, great, guys. I'm going to come back to you right there, and we'll just have a look. How's the time? Wow, I'm on time. Amazing. Let's take you down there. There's Laura. Let's take her out. Laura. Oh, okay. So let's just have a little look. Oh, everybody's been busy this evening. Oh, Cheryl is around. Cheryl, good evening. How are you? Nice to see you there. Diane, great. Nice to see you as well. Okay, enough chat. Let's get on with some questions. Penny's there. Oh, did I? I think I may have written shut, not gut. Okay, Penny, thank you. She always keeps me right. I'm not saying drugs don't have a place. It's just that I think, because they're all so new, they kind of kicked off since kind of the 1930s. They have their place. Yeah. If I get knocked over by a bus tomorrow, I want every pharmaceutical in that they've got. But I just think modern medicine is not very good for when we need to repeatedly support an issue, whether it's itch on the outside, bad ears, or bad digestion, or continually protect from worms. Then I think that we should look at other methodologies, herbs being a massive one to look at. Okay, it looks like you've all been chatting while I've been chatting to you. Okay, this is a good one. Elaine describes is rightly concerned. Okay, so garlic. Let's just do this, and then I'm going to finish so you can get on with your evening. If there's one thing everybody knows about garlic, it is that, oh my goodness, garlic is toxic to dogs. And this is because there was a study came out in the 80s where they gave humongous levels of garlic to rats, and they did produce Heinz body anemia. And that went into the literature, and it's just been reported ever since, again and again and again. But in reality, with most dogs, you have to, again, give very large quantities over quite a long period in order to produce this reversible thing called Heinz body anemia, where your red blood cells crinkle and you can't carry as much oxygen, and they get then removed from the blood. And so in moderate doses, and I'm talking for a 30-kilo Labrador, that would just be a clove, not a bulb, but a clove of garlic, like a medium-sized clove for a 30 kilos. So if you've got a 15-kilo dog, it would be half of that. That can be given daily without a problem whatsoever. Okay, so cats, you've got to be even more careful than that. But with dogs, a bit of garlic, I'll get a bit of garlic every day. Absolutely fine, no problem. Okay, so is it toxic? Yes, it is, but you have to give very large quantities in order to get this thing, Heinz body anemia. Okay. And there you go. Laura is saying exactly the same. Aren't we clever? Okay, that's great. And she's quoting an article that I did earlier. There you go. Do. There's the figures, just to say it's in small quantities. Therefore, it has this nurturing, teaching effect, but doesn't have the anything close to a toxic level. So Tima is saying about steam. Yeah, I think steaming nettles, boiling nettles is okay. Steaming nettles is probably better. You're right, Tima, if I said that. I'm trying to think of 20 things when I'm when I'm doing a presentation. So nettle tea, she's a fan. That's great. I agree. Must try it. Tried nettle as spinach. That's really pretty interesting, but it's okay. Nettle tea. We'll get into that without a doubt. That's great. And we'll end with Penny, who's always very nice. She's a vet down in South Africa, and says, thanks for an informative chat. That's great. I love talking about this stuff. If you have got stuff that you would like us to go through, then just say something to Laura here or email the guys at Vermex. Their website is verm-x.com, and you'll be able to find an email address there. So jump into that and please tell us. We want to talk to you about the stuff that's interesting to you. I could go on about herbs and gut all day long, as you know, and so I'm going to go and have dinner, and I will see you 20th of March, and we're most likely going to have a panel discussion with lots of people. We'll talk about raw, or because you guys suggested it earlier, we are going to have a Q&A where you stack up the questions and I'll see what I can do about answers. How about that? There we go. All good. Listen, greetings, very best wishes to everybody. See you on the 20th of March for a little more fun on the Gut Doctor, and we'll go from there. Okay, I'm going to sign off now until we see you next time.